In today's video, I want to discuss my mental health, and by my mental health, I mean all of our mental health during these challenging times of isolation. Roll the titles.
For the record, I'm done trying to make y'all comfortable. For the record, you ain't trying to grow, then it's done for you.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So over the last week, I've been speaking to a lot of people on consults, and as you would expect, there are a lot of people experiencing high amounts of anxiety during these periods, and that's me included. So I just want to put out a quick video and give you some information and explain what I'm doing to reduce my anxiety levels, and hopefully this will help some of you as well. So I think we are all experiencing this at the moment, where 1 minute you are doing okay, and then you may catch the news or something on social media, and those anxiety levels will really start cranking up. And this will be happening to everyone at the moment. It is perfectly normal and nobody is immune from it. And after a while you will find a distraction, or you'll be able to talk yourself down a little bit, and then you'll be fine for a period of time. But the difficulty at the moment, because all of the uncertainty with everything that is going on, is that these waves of anxiety are just around the corner with the next social media post. So as I said, I want to give you an idea of what I'm doing to try and better manage my anxiety levels during this period of uncertainty. So the first thing that I think we all need to understand over the coming weeks is that we will have to change our behaviours regularly to coincide with developments that are happening externally to us, and these will be outside of our control. And for many of us who don't like change and don't like handing over to control to other people, this can be particularly difficult to rationalise. But remember, every day we are making changes and restrictions on our lives, we are one step closer to getting through this. It's really not too dissimilar for someone having health issues. It's obviously a scary position to be in. You feel like you're not in control, and to a large extent you have to outsource control to a healthcare practitioner. But day by day, usually the advice that you are given can help you start turning your health issues around. And it isn't too different from what we are facing today. We are self-isolating, we are outsourcing control to people in the know, but rest assured, the advice that we are being given will get us through this. And let me just repeat that, the advice that we are being given will get us all through this. See the advice that we are being given as a positive, and know that this will have a conclusion and we will get our lives back on track. We will be back at work moaning about those everyday issues, and we will be back taking a nice long walk in the park with our friends while enjoying the sunshine. At the moment, we are all at sea caught in a storm, but remember, after a storm comes a calm. So for now, we follow the advice, we batten down the hatches and we ride out the storm until we hit the calm. And think how good that is going to feel when we have all got through that. Now, for many of us, the thought of riding this storm or having these restrictions for 3 or 6 months can seem particularly overwhelming. Or you may be someone with pre-existing health anxiety, and it may be extremely difficult for you to see light at the end of the tunnel with a mind that is constantly racing. You may have a headache or a slight cough, and you are constantly checking Google for symptoms, and Dr. Google can just make those thought patterns go into overdrive. And something else for us all to remember and to keep in the back of our minds is that when you are extremely anxious, it can cause shortness of breath, sweating, and other symptoms that may resemble the virus. So we have to understand how we can bring ourselves back down from that fight or flight mode that we are trapped in. So one of the best ways that we can do this is very similar to what we are doing with self-isolation to minimize our risks of contracting the virus. So what I mean by that, if we can minimize our exposure to the noise coming from the news and social media outlets, it can help bring down those stress hormone levels. Now at the moment, many of us are caught in those panic windows where we are constantly searching for information online that can help us feel like we are taking back some form of control. However, the biggest issue that we have at the moment is that the noise coming from certain media outlets and social media is a distance away from reality. And by constantly exposing yourself to these untruths, you are doing yourself no favours, and your anxiety levels will just remain elevated. So what works for me is that I say to myself that I'm going to allow myself 30 minutes to an hour a day to bring myself up to speed with what's going on. So for me, I know that in the UK, the Prime Minister is giving daily briefs around 5 PM every day with his chief scientific advisors. I know that the information coming from this direction is from people in the know, and it's certainly not from Auntie Jo, Facebook's new chief scientific advisor on infectious diseases, who was last week selling Windows. So absolutely allow yourself a window every day where you inform yourself on what's going on, but please, please, please make sure you are listening to legitimate sources. Do not get caught up in conspiracy theories. The remaining 23 hours of the day, ensure you are obviously getting good quality sleep, but also ensure you are distracting yourself. Put that silicone obsession down and focus on distraction. Read that book you said you've always wanted to read, or watch your favourite film, or choose a new box set. For many of us, this is probably the one time in our lives where we can get everything in order. So the plans that we wanted to make, the business ideas, or our life plans and goals. So events like this give us a great moment of pause. Moments like these help us evaluate what is important, and they teach us not to sweat the small stuff because they simply don't matter. So for me, I'm looking at what I'm going to be doing to my house over the next few months. I'm watching TV, and I'm also enjoying playing some computer games. Because how many of us, while caught up in the rat race, have said, I just wish I had an afternoon where I could sit and be still. And this is that time. And by watching those box sets, reading those books, doing some gardening, you will suddenly see a pattern of, oh, I haven't thought about those uncertainties for a good few hours. Distraction is going to be key over the coming months. Do everything you can to stay out of those panic windows, so put your phone down. And if you find that these distractions are not enough for you, then share your concerns with those around you. A problem shared is obviously a problem halved. By speaking to those around you, it will show you that everyone is thinking the same way and you are not alone in your thought patterns. So jump on Skype with your best friend or brother and just have a chat or a bit of banter and take the mickey out of his hideous shirt. Or have an online quiz between your friends. You are all in this together and you will all get through this together. So on top of the communication and distractions, what I also find that really helps me is having a consistent daily routine. So I get up at the same time, I answer my work emails, I plan out my working week ahead, I have my consults, I have my quality time with my wife, and I go to bed at a reasonable hour where possible. And I would highly recommend that you also find some form of routine in your daily life while you are getting through this. Try getting up at the same time, having breakfast at the same time, do your ironing at the same time, and if you're working from home, then carry out those daily tasks. And of course, go to bed at a good time, just find that routine. And of course, in this routine, ensure that you are eating well, getting plenty of fluids, ensure that you are exercising daily, and stay well away from things like alcohol. It will more than likely make things much worse. So the last thing that I quickly want to touch upon is the positive impact this whole event will have on bringing us closer together in our communities. We are already seeing on a daily basis those acts of kindness that help restore our faith in humanity. So while social media can be bad at times for increasing anxiety, if you are going to use it, then focus on positive posts, join positive WhatsApp groups for helping those elderly and vulnerable in our communities, and be a person who puts positivity into the world. Please do not get caught up in the doom and gloom. So I have a challenge for each and every one of you, and that's to do 3 things to help others throughout the day. So it could be checking in on your loved ones, making your wife her favourite meal, picking up shopping for someone else, or even volunteering in your local area. And finally, doing all the things laid out in this video will not always work, and that is fine. I will be anxious at times, my wife will be anxious at times, and all of you will be anxious at times. And this is perfectly normal, but this whole event will teach you, if you don't already know, it will teach you how resilient you are, and certainly more than you ever give yourself credit for. So each and every day as your anxieties increase and decrease, and each and every day as you are forced to hand over control, it will increase your resiliency, and as a result, it will increase your coping mechanisms. So simply take each day at a time, put your phone down, do more of the stuff you enjoy, focus on the things that matter, look out for your loved ones, and trust me, you will get through this with a new zest for life.